All right, what's up, everybody? We're back again for another episode of Friday 5, where we talk about a couple real estate stories affecting the Triangle market. Let's go ahead and dive in, get that clock started, see if we can hit today's stories in less than 5 minutes. First, before we jump into this story, just a quick note. Both stories are coming from WTVD, ABC 11, and anytime you see multiple real estate stories, they actually had 3 real estate stories this week. You know that real estate is in the news because if the news is reporting on it that often, it is certainly driving clicks and people have an interest in it. So make sure that you're staying up to date and getting all the facts of the stories. All right, first article here says, new report ranks Raleigh in the top 3 for first-time home buyers. According to Bankrate, Raleigh comes in at number 3 in the nation for first-time home buyers. City of Oaks comes in behind Kansas City and Austin, Texas. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked to see that Austin, Texas was the number 1 city for first-time buyers, as all I've heard about Austin is that its price growth has just exceeded expectations. Bankrate said Raleigh comes in at number 1 for market tightness, meaning there is a lack of available inventory. And like we've talked about for the last few weeks, we can certainly attest to that. But Bankrate ranked Raleigh in its place because of how quickly homes have sold compared to a year ago. The report comes as Realtor.com also reported that Raleigh was number 9 in the country for where home sales have fallen the most. If sellers aren't putting their houses on the market, there's just not going to be enough inventory, and that's going to create a tightness that makes it difficult for buyers. And we're certainly seeing that. There's demand out there. There's just a true lack of available inventory. And inventory is either moving extremely quickly, or properties that are not priced properly, marketed properly, or have a defect that is just extremely hard to overcome. Those properties are sitting on the market for extended amounts of time. Minneapolis and Jacksonville, Florida came in behind Raleigh in number 4 and number 5 on Bankrate's list. And those I can certainly understand from an affordability standpoint. I still am having a hard time with Austin and understanding how they're number 1 for first-time home buyers. But Raleigh continues to be a great place for first-time home buyers, and it always has been. What we are seeing for first-time home buyers, though, is that if they need an affordable opportunity, they may not be in, Raleigh proper. They may be having to move outside the city limits, or places like Fuquay or Andrew or Selma, places further out that maybe they would not have anticipated having to do just 3, 4, 5 years ago. All right, let's move to our second story, which talks about Raleigh's growth. It says, rapid growth in Raleigh risks budget shortfall, reduced emergency response times, the city report warns. And I think anytime that you have the growth that we have had over the last 10 to 15 years in Raleigh, this is just something that you have to deal with. The report says, in a recent City of Raleigh budget meeting, council members heard the city's budget, and the management director gave a report on a potential budget shortfall for fiscal year 2024. The shortfall could be as little as $500,000 or as much as $6.4 million. Are we just going to leave that right there? Because personally, that feels like a pretty wide range. But she goes on to say, at the moment, these are just preliminary numbers. And she's going to keep saying that, so you all know, this is just an overview, and we'll come up with a really strong numbers on May 16th when we present a balanced budget. The news comes as the City of Raleigh received 40 annexation requests, most from developers, to be included within city services. What is an annexation? That's when a part of a town is outside of the city limits and someone is asking for it to be brought into the city limits so that they can receive city services, such as fire, EMS, water, sewer, trash, all of those different city services. It also helps grow the tax base for the city as well, because then those people who were previously not in the City of Raleigh are annexed into the City of Raleigh, and now they're going to be paying city taxes as well. If approved, the annexations would require the city to expand services like trash, water, sewer, fire, and EMS and police. And that expansion is what could cause the budget shortfall. And while yes, that would be a budget shortfall, I do suspect that as those properties get developed, the budget would increase and revenue would increase because those tax dollars are going to continue to increase. Raleigh Fire Chief Herb Griffin said, "The problem we have is not a real problem of concern. It's a great problem. Growth. Who doesn't want growth?" So we own a roadmap right now to show other cities how to grow. We want to grow the right way to meet the needs of the community that we're serving. So growth is good, but let's put a plan together to meet the needs of that growth that we're experiencing now in the city of Raleigh. He does say, however, it can lead to problems if it's not addressed properly. With current assets, as we continue to annex out and grow further, it creates sometimes the potential for increased response time, and that in turn creates a firefighter safety hazard if not addressed correctly. So understanding how we grow, why we're growing, and the best way to do this is of the utmost importance to our community. We're curious to know, what do you think of Raleigh's growth, and what do you think of these annexations? Is this good or bad for the city as we continue to grow? Would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. And if you would, go ahead and subscribe here. It really helps us out, and it keeps you up to date of news affecting the Raleigh real estate market, as well as other communities that we explore so that you can learn about those. And by the way, if you or someone you know is considering buying, selling, or building in the Triangle area, our team of experts would love to help you. Let us know and we'll get that ball rolling. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Friday. Talk soon.